Okay, so how do you think that activity went?
I think it went pretty well. I think during the activity, we both observed that the problems we had with those sixth graders were in getting them to conceptualize taking the average of 5 days to figure out daylight lengths over an entire season and the actual year in the rotation of the planet. That leap from the literal that they were seeing on the interactive to the conceptual that you just needed to extrapolate out.
And I think they did do a good job in, even though I didn't have them look at the box that said angle of sunlight.
They picked up on that. Yeah, they did.
And they were able, the thing that they're not quite getting is how does something that's directly overhead, how does that cause you to have a longer day versus something that travels lower to the horizon?
And that's still that inference level from,
Sure.
from the literal to the next stage.
So I'm gonna definitely have to go over that with them again, but they do understand the whole idea, the fact that the tilt impacts the angle of the light hits the earth.
And it's the refraction of the non-direct skipping out to transfer the energy.
I think that they also never really had the misconception that the distance, they always started out with the tilt, but now they have a better understanding of why a tilt
Yeah,
produces
that was kind of interesting that the older groups of students I've worked with have more of the misconception, yet the longer we've had that in the schools, it's becoming more apparent that they don't go there anymore. That's not being perpetuated.
I think they're doing a better job at the elementary level of making sure that they understand that it's not distance too. And I think that they enjoyed looking at the other planets and seeing how things are different on the other planets versus on Earth.
And both of those manipulatives, the interactive manipulatives of the online is right where these kids live. You know, the video generation of video games, they're into that computer interaction to progress.
I like the second one where it put the daylight hours next to the temperature, and you could also talk about how there's not always a direct correlation between daylight hours and temperature. There's other things that affect climate, and
Which leads them into the whole ocean currents and weather thing.
and altitude.
Positional geography and that sort of thing. That's right into the next part.
So I think from that we're going to go into looking at ocean currents and how that impacts weather as well.
And that's going to be the heat cycling from warm to cool and transferring and all that sort of stuff.
And we'll also be able to talk about the angle of light hitting the earth and how that heats the equator, which then fuels
To the ocean, to the
convection
water,
of the cycle.
and it's all put together. Yeah. But overall, I think they did really good because that one class, we only tracked 2 groups, which was four students out of the whole class that were really looking at you going, okay, I'll do it this way, but I really don't get flower. The rest of them at least got pieces and parts enough to be moving with it.
And the fact that and some of them didn't have very accurate data. I think it was going so fast, it was hard for them to keep up with it.
Yeah.
Trying to tally how many hours and then
To get the count exact enough to lead them.
right, and exactly where to start counting. The stars sometimes are always on the map because it never gets to be a bright sunny day, and whether you